The Senate to order. Sergeant at Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, senators and guests, on this Thursday, March 6th, we are very pleased to have Reverend Will Green of the Silver Spring United Methodist Church in Silver Spring, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the 18th District. Please rise for the invocation.
Beloved, I invite you to adopt a posture and attitude of prayer. God of the now and not yet, of unfinished things and unfinished people, we confess that in this season when our paths feel cluttered by injustice and greed, as winner-take-all thinking and increasingly sectarian approaches to common life take root, that it is easy to feel unfit to meet this moment. Yet we remember that you go before us to make a way where none can yet be fully perceived, that all day long you are working for good in the world, and you call us to join in that work, promising you will never abandon, forsake, or leave us ill-equipped. I pray for these that you have called to lead our state. Help them to listen and serve in ways that seek the common good, rather than security or certainty through power and control. Protect and preserve them from the demonic temptations of partisan finger-pointing and pithy political punditry that demean our differences and deny the divine image each person bears. May each debate, decision, and vote cast represent not points scored for future political pursuits, but the well-being and wholeness of all those you have called them to serve. Aid them, O God, in recognizing that the help you will provide, help that knows no race, creed, custom, identity, or place on the sides of man-made aisles in our present political thinking, and grant them the audacity and integrity to welcome it when it comes. Provide them the peace of mind, clarity of thought, and purity of intent necessary to take each faithful step forward, trusting that though the way may be yet obscured with uncertainty, you go before them to make a way even if we cannot yet perceive it. Most of all, bless them and us all with the humility of mind, heart, and soul, that we would lead not with our own understanding or strength, but with yours, and do so seeking the collective healing, wholeness, and abundant life of all people, even those with whom we disagree. And now, O God, to you and you alone we dedicate our lives and all the places and positions we occupy for the work of building beloved community with every asset and tool at our disposal. With your grace, power, and wisdom at work in our lives, may it be so. Amen.
Recognize the senator from the 18th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. For reasons that are unclear to me, this session, judicial proceedings has taken to wearing green on Thursday, so it's only appropriate. I see that this tradition is spreading, by the way. It's only appropriate that Reverend Green be here today to give us the prayer. Reverend Green is the pastor of a deeply pluralistic, multiracial congregation in Silver Spring. He is utilizing a law in Montgomery County to build housing on his property, which is incredible, and I ask that the Reverend's remarks be journalized.
Without objection, most certainly we will journalize the Reverend's remarks and appreciate his work in Maryland and for being here with us today. Has everyone recorded their presence in the chamber? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 43 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. Senators, let's start with our resolution. We have a resolution today. Senator from the 25th.
It's a great purple day in the state. Thank you, Mr. President. Well, good morning, colleagues. The men that you see in front of you dressed in this royal purple and gold are members of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, 2nd District. Omega Psi Phi is a historic fraternity, being the first international fraternal organization founded on the campus of a historically black college, founded on the cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. The mighty 2nd District spans the 5 states, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. With over 2,000 members, the 2nd District is dedicated to service, advocacy, and community empowerment through the bond of brotherhood. Omega Psi Phi was built on strong and effective force of men committed to doing everything that we can for our community, Today, we have 100 brothers in Annapolis who are advocating for the promotion of manhood, fairness, and racial equality, principles that our founders intended to uphold when they established the fraternity in 1911. We have a distinct group of members of elected office who I would like to acknowledge. We have our Prince George's County at-large council member Calvin Hawkins. We have the council member of Town of Brentwood, Marcus Monroe. We have Delegate Greg Wims. We have Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates, Bowie Mayor Tim Adams, our own Maryland State Treasurer Derek Davis, and Howard County State's Attorney Rich Gibson. To the front, you will see our 2nd District DR, Amir Sharif, followed by all brothers who are members of the 100 Qs in Annapolis team. I would like to read off the resolution, sir.
The clerk will read the Senator, the clerk will read the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Clerk will read the resolution in full.
Be it hereby known to all, the Senate of Maryland offers sincerest congratulations to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, 2nd District, Corridor 1, in recognition of 100 Qs in Annapolis Day and for your commitment to service, advocacy, and community empowerment through brotherhood. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on the 6th day of March, 2025.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? If so, the clerk will take the call to the 100 Qs on Annapolis Day. The Senate of Maryland unanimously celebrates and congratulates you for your work with the 2nd District, Corridor 1, and thank you for your commitment to our state. Thank you all so much for your dedication. Thank you. Good to see you. All right, recognize the senator from the 40th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Want to say congratulations to the men of Omega Psi Phi from the Kappa Caucus. In the 40th District, we represent probably 5 of the Divine 9. But the Pi Omega chapter of Omega Psi Phi has been extraordinary leaders. In the gallery above you, Mr. President, is the president of the Pi Omega Foundation, who, when city resources could not keep open a recreation center, these men stood up in the community and took over that recreation center and continue to pour back into our young people. And so, colleagues, please join me in welcoming to the chambers Mr. Zane Cypress, who's in the audience today with the men from Omega.
Welcome, welcome. And thank you for your great work. Thank you. Senator from the 45th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, also in the chamber, we have Maryland Alliance for Advocacy for Sickle Cell, and we're joined by their president, Derek Robertson, their executive director, Nakia Vaughn, and 10 members in the gallery today. They are focused, unifiedly focused on advocacy, education, and policy initiatives for individuals with sickle cell, the sickle cell disease. And we're honored to have them here today for Maryland Sickle Cell Annapolis Day 2025. Colleagues, if I can educate you all a little bit, sickle cell is an incurable condition causing red blood cells to take on a sickle shape, leads to severe pain, complications, and reduced life expectancy. 1 in 13 Black or African American babies are born with sickle cell trait, and over 4,000 people in Maryland live with the sickle cell disease. Please join me in welcoming Nakia Vaughn, President Derek Robertson, and all those that's joining in that fight against sickle cell and advocating for sickle cell. Please give them a round of applause.
Welcome, welcome.
And Mr. President, I wanted to do them a little bit separate. There are also 2 young brothers that are 10th graders that are at Loyola Blakefield at this time, Langston Outlaw and Samuel Long. One of them is possibly want to be a senator one day, Mr. President. So I'm super encouraged for a poli-sci major up there, but also glad that they are joining us this day right here to be able to see how their government works. So if we can give them 2 young men a round of applause.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome. All right, Senator from Howard and Anne Arundel counties.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would like to ask the body to welcome our doc of the day, our retired colleague from the House, Delegate Dan Morheim, who has a long and distinguished career here in the Maryland General Assembly, serving as the longest-serving physician in the state legislature for 24 years, the lead sponsor of 139 bills that were enacted into law. Continues along with public service, serving as part of the ED Wait Time Commission and Behavioral Health Council, as well as the faculty at George Washington University. A good friend and mentor of mine asked for a warm Senate welcome for Delegate Dan Morheim.
Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, Senator. Delegate, yes. Senator from Frederick City.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, I'd like you to all to join me in welcoming members of the North Star Leadership Initiative from Frederick. This is a program for development and mentoring in our community for Black African Americans. We have several members with us today: Shawan Brightfield, Chantel Duckett, Jason Francis, Matthew Graham, Cortina Johnson, and Kiera Meeks. And with them, please stand up if you're in the gallery, are their mentors, Dr. Denise Rollins and Guyan Sampson. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Senators, I am very thrilled. Also, I have a number of guests today from leaders from South Baltimore who are good, incredible friends and colleagues, but the work that we do together in the 46th District is instrumental. It wouldn't happen without their tireless efforts. They're boots on the ground investing in communities. I'm joined today by Jan Eveland, Pastor Billy Humphreys, Peggy Jackson-Job, Tracy Garrett Rogers, Raheem Brown, Sean Murphy, and Crystal Branch, who just recently lost her husband. And I'm so thrilled and honored to have them here today. If we could give them a warm Senate welcome. Thank you all for being here. I also am joined by another very important constituent. She can't vote yet, but I don't know if I would get her vote actually these days. But I'm joined by my daughter, Cora Ferguson, here this morning. So here to see democracy in action. All right. Senator from the 25th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, so today, I don't know if you got an opportunity to see me walking around with an Air Force man in uniform, but that is Colonel June O, who is the base commander for Joint Base Andrews, which is one of the pinnacles in District 25. Colonel O is the commander of the 316th Wing, Air Force District, Washington, and the installation commander for Joint Base Andrews, Naval Air Facility, Washington, and our own District 25, Maryland. As the host wing for Joint Base Andrews, the 316th Wing provides essential support services, including personnel, contracting, finance, medical, and infrastructure, while also providing security, often for the world's highest visibility flight line, supporting the President of the United States and other senior leaders. The 316th Wing supports 5 wings, 3 headquarters, and over 80 tenant organizations, including 60,000 airmen and their families in the National Capital Region and globally. Colonel O began his Air Force career in 2002 as a graduate of the Reserve Officer Training Corps at The Ohio State University. He earned his wings in 2004 as a command pilot with over 2,000 flight hours, primarily in the Huey helicopter. Throughout his career, he has held numerous leadership positions across 3 major commands worldwide, as well as participated in joint assignments with the United Nations and the Pentagon. Prior to assuming command at Joint Base Andrews, he served as the Operations Group Commander at Yokota Air Force Base in Japan. If you'll all join me and give a warm introduction to Colonel June O.
Welcome. Senator from Baltimore County, followed by the President Pro Tem.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming the group from the Leadership Baltimore County, who are hopefully in the gallery someplace. It is a year-long program to heighten civic awareness and enhance organizational effectiveness. And, all of them, great. I had the opportunity to Zoom with some of them last week, and fantastic group, always. We love seeing you down here. And they're a wonderful leader, Amanda's in. Thank you. And one more indulgence, Mr. President. I just want to make clear that the good doctor of the day still is a resident of District 11. Thank you.
Excellent. Welcome. Yes, President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, if you look above, you'll see those in the yellow shawls who are our mayors. Maryland mayors are here, and I think some of them are behind me for sure. I know I saw some of my own. I represent 9 of our 157 that we have. And I saw my mayor of Cheverly, Mounier, and of Colmar Manor, Cassinas, and Wheatley. of Cottage City. But we just want to say thank you for you all's service. Oh, and also Mayor James from Bladensburg, as I turn around and look. We thank you for your service, and we want to offer them a very warm Senate welcome as they join us today. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the mayors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We appreciate your partnership in this work. Thank you all for what you do. Thanks for joining us today. All right, let's see. A senator from District 17.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, and thank you, President Pro Tem, as the proud senator for Gaithersburg and Rockville, and I know that's a shock for all of you. I love Municipal Day, but today I have a county leader with me shadowing me. Angela Franco is the new CEO of the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, and she's doing great work already. We stole her from D.C. Stand up. We stole her from D.C., where she was CEO of the D.C. Chamber of Commerce and got them through COVID and civil unrest and so many challenges. So she is ready for the craziness that is Montgomery County, supporting our businesses, our nonprofits, and our community. So Angela will be with me all day, especially Montgomery County senators, but everyone, I hope you'll have a chance to say hello to Angela today. Please join me in welcoming her.
Welcome. Thank you for your excellent work. All right, senator from the 8th District. Baltimore County? Nope. Okay. Any other? Oh, yes.
Sorry, trying to learn all the buttons here. Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I want to recognize D8 constituent and educator Alyssa Jackson and members of the Leadership Baltimore County Cohort 2025 led by Amanda Zinn. Please give them a hand of applause.
Well, welcome, welcome. Good to thank you again. Thank you. Yes, Senator from Prince George's.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming our visitors here this morning from the AARP, particularly the Prince George's County Chapter 939. And anybody in here who is not a member of AARP, the senator from the 25th, will soon be joining it. So thank you, and I thank you all for coming.
That was an excellent advertisement. No. Excellent. All right. Thank you to the AARP. We appreciate your advocacy enormously. All right. All right. Let's see. Do we have any other introductions? Any other introductions? All right. If not, so be considered the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. It appears our first order of business is a message from the governor. The clerk will read the message.
Dear President Ferguson, in accordance with Article 2, Section 13 of the Constitution of Maryland, I am pleased to submit the following appointment nominations for confirmation by the Maryland State Senate. These individuals bring exceptional knowledge and ability to the offices for which they have been nominated. I am confident they will provide strength of experience and leadership to instill the confidence among all of our citizens and ensure we succeed in our commitment to leave no Marylander behind. I look forward to your favorable approval of these nominations. Thank you for your assistance and support. Sincerely, Wes Moore, Governor.
All right, it's a little bit loud in the chamber. If we could ask the Sergeant at Arms to please secure the chamber doors. All right, thank you. The appointments having been read, we will refer the names to the Executive Nominations Committee. Senators, the names will be up on the floor system in the other tab, so please just note these are additional names. We're gonna have a busy executive noms for the end here. All right, let's do this. Can we ring the bells, Madam Secretary? I think, do we have everyone here? Just about. All right, let's do a quorum call.
Mr. President.
All right, has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We have a third reading calendar, number 22. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill number 7, Senator M. Jackson, Department of Transportation, Human Trafficking Awareness, Training and Response, See Someone, Save Something Act.
All right, Senate Bill 7 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President.
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 7, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 17, Senator Simon Ayer, Anne Arundel County Alcoholic Beverage Licenses, Veterans Organizations.
Senate Bill 17 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 17, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 26, Senator Kramer, Labor and Employment, Occupational Safety and Health Revisions, Davis-Martinez Public Employee Safety and Health Act.
Senate Bill 26 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 26, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 110, Senator West, Estates and Trust, Priority of Claims on Estate, Unpaid Child Support.
Senate Bill 110 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 110, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 117, Senator Hester, Environment Bay Restoration Fund, Septic Systems Upgrade Program.
Senate Bill 117 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 117, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 126, Senator West, Estates and Trust, Resignation of Trustee, Notice.
Senate Bill 126 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 126, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 135, Senator West, Estates and Trust, Fiduciaries, Attorney-Client Privilege.
Senate Bill 135 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 135, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 152, Senator West, Criminal Law, Crimes Relating to Animals, Conviction and Sentencing.
Senate Bill 152 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 152, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 239, Chair, Education, Energy and the Environment Committee, State Finance and Procurement, Local Cybersecurity Preparedness and Response Plan Assessment, repeal.
Senate Bill 239 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 239, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. That was a pretty easy calendar, not too bad. Oh, we still have one more. Uh-oh, jinxed us. Clerk, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 244, Chair, Education, Energy and the Environment Committee, State Government, Information Technology, Cybersecurity Revisions.
Senate Bill 244 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 244, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, let's go to calendar 23. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 261, Chair, Education, Energy and the Environment Committee, State Board of Public Accountancy, Sunset Extension and Report.
All right, Senate Bill 261 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 261, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 267, Chair, Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Election Law, Petitions for the Formation of New Political Parties, process.
Senate Bill 267 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 267, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 269, Senator M. Jackson, Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship Program, revisions.
Senate Bill 269 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 269, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 274, Senator Love, Criminal Procedure, Child Victims, Testimony, and Child Abuse Cases.
Senate Bill 274 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. 44 votes in the affirmative. Senate Bill 274, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 275, Senator Simon Nair, Modernization of Military Laws Act.
Senate Bill 275 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. 44 votes in the affirmative. Senate Bill 275, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 276, Senator Simon Nair, Educational Equality for Service Members Act.
Senate Bill 276 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 276, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 373, Senator Beidel, State Personnel, BWI Airport Fire and Rescue Department, Collective Bargaining and Arbitration Process.
Senate Bill 373 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 373, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 421, Senator McKay, Criminal Law Destroying Funerary Objects and Cemetery Elements, Statute of Limitations and Prohibition.
Senate Bill 421 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 421, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 445, Senator McCray, Department of Human Services, Federal Commodity Supplemental Food Program Administration.
Senate Bill 445 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 445, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 474, Senator Beidel, Health Insurance, Adverse Decisions, Notices, Reporting, and Examinations.
Senate Bill 474 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 474, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Recognize the senator from the 37th, followed by the senator from the 7th.
I'd like to request a slip to complete.
Paige, can we get a vote change slip to the senator, please? While we get that filled out, senator from District 7.
Mr. President, Senate Bill 373, Union Bill, I was trying to figure out how to vote on that, and it took me so long I forgot, and I'd like to be green.
Green on 373. Green 73. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. All right. Senator from District 37.
I'd like to change my vote on Senate Bill 267 from red to green.
267 from red to green. We have the slip. Any objections? Without objection. Ordered.
I don't believe I was recorded on a different vote. Is it?
Senator may proceed.
And then on Senate Bill 445, I'd like to be recorded in the green. I was not recorded.
445 in the green. 445 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. All right, we have a consent calendar. This is calendar 24. Clerk will read the calendar.
Third reading Senate Bill Calendar number 24, Consent Calendar number 1.
All right, Senators, these are alcohol bills. They are on consent. Please take a moment to look through the list. Are there any bills that Senators wish to separate? Any desire to separate? If not, any discussion? All right, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, third reading bills on consent calendar number 1, having received a constitutional majority, are declared passed. Let's go to calendar 25, third reading calendar 25. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 511, Senator Henson, Public Senior Higher Education Institutions Pregnant and Parenting Students Plan Requirements, Pregnant and Parenting Students Support Act.
Senate Bill 511 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 511, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. This is the Senator's first third reader bill passed in the Senate, so it's not. Never mind, it is not. You know what? It's just such a good bill. It's such a good bill that, yes. All right, clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 576, Senator Lamb, Labor and Employment Mandatory Meetings on Religious or Political Matters, Employee Attendance and Participation, Maryland Worker Freedom Act.
Senate Bill 576 is on third reading for final passage, recognizing the minority whip on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill came through the Finance Committee, but there was some information I received, and I did oppose the bill in committee for a number of reasons, but there was some information I just received, and I wonder if I could ask the floor leader a question.
Will the floor leader yield?
Certainly.
Senator may proceed.
So we discussed this bill in committee, and I may speak about why I'm opposed to the bill overall. But someone's asked me, would this preclude a company that has government relations staff from being able to have a mandatory meeting where they discuss the politics of a particular bill or issue as it affects their business?
So most of these folks are probably at will at the employer, number one. Number two, if the employee didn't want to attend, they don't have to attend, but it's probably relevant to their job, right? So most of the folks who are government relations employees or staff will probably want to attend. They don't have to be compelled to attend. It's
So
part
this,
of it.
thank you. So this bill states that if you're not an at-will employee, it does not apply to any at-will employees?
Does it not apply to any?
This bill only applies to employees?
No, applies to all employees.
Okay. But you're saying if it's part of their job description for them to participate in a religious or political discussion, then they can be mandated to attend a meeting, even if we pass this bill? Let me give you an example, and this is not who brought the issue to me. But we have obviously religious organizations that have lobbyists here in Annapolis and employ people, Catholic, I think the Lutheran, Jewish. If they have government relations staff and they have a mandatory meeting to discuss bills that they're lobbying for or against, would this bill as it's written say that someone could just say, well, no, I'm not going to attend that meeting because you're going to talk about Catholicism or Judaism or a political issue?
Well, I mean, those government affairs folks could, under this bill, they would not be compelled to attend. They could choose not to attend, in which case it might be very difficult for them to do their job.
But they couldn't be fired because we're saying they can't be with this bill, correct?
They cannot be compelled to attend. You can ask them if they want to attend. You know, it's a policy-related meeting for someone who's government affairs or lobbyist for something. You know, if they don't want to attend, they don't have to, but it could be very difficult for them to do their job.
Well, I agree with you. That would be really difficult. It might be difficult for someone who works at a Catholic hospital to do their job effectively if there's a fear that they can't discuss anything about Catholicism at a mandatory meeting. Also, but that's also what this bill would do, correct?
There's a religious exemption, so that Catholic hospital would not
Okay.
have that problem.
Okay. That's good to know. I didn't remember that from the hearing. Okay, but on the issue, okay, thank you very much. Mr. President, on this issue, I actually wish I had caught this thing sooner because I think we probably should look at making some things a little more clear about the bill. I have a feeling that a special order to try to address some of these issues with at-will employees would probably fall on deaf ears, but I think we might want to hold this for a day just to check on making sure the language is tight.
Senator, is that a motion or is it? Senator?
Yeah, sorry. Let me make a motion for a special order for. I know we're pro forma tomorrow, so I guess it would be Monday. But I'll work with the gentleman. I mean, honestly, this came to me like just this morning. So.
All right, let's hear from the senator, from the floor leader.
That's fine.
No objections to special order.
Thank you very much.
All right, the bill will be special ordered at the appropriate time on Monday. All right, clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 597, Senator Quarterman, Higher Education, Maryland Graduate and Professional Scholarship Program, eligible institutions.
Senate Bill 597 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 597, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 602, Senator Brooks, County Boards of Education, Special Education Service Delivery Models, Publication Requirements.
Senate Bill 602 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 602, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 636, Frederick County Senators, Frederick County Alcoholic Beverages Tasting Permits.
Senate Bill 636 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 636, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 722, Senator Henson, Department of the Environment, definition of ecological restoration.
Senate Bill 722 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 722, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 734, Senator McKay, Business Regulation, Licensing Definition of Storage Warehouse.
Senate Bill 734 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 734, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 738, Frederick County Senators, Frederick County Barbershop and Beauty Salon Beer and Wine License alterations.
Senate Bill 738 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 738, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 744, Harford County Senators, Harford County Alcoholic Beverages Hearing Notice.
Senate Bill 744 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 744, having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 745, Harford County Senators, Harford County Alcoholic Beverages Performing Arts Nonprofit Organization License, Record-Keeping Requirements.
Senate Bill 745 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 745, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Let's go to 26, third reading calendar 26. Clerk will read the first. Oh, let's see. Yes.
Mr. President, I need a red slip. I need to add my vote on a bill.
Is it just adding or changing?
Adding.
Okay, Senator can proceed.
Senate Bill 373, vote positive, yes.
373 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. All right. Clerk will read the first bill of the calendar.
Senate Bill 746, Harford County Senators, Harford County Alcoholic Beverages, Multiple Licenses, Golf Simulator Facilities.
Senate Bill 746 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 746, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 754, Senator Kramer, Commercial Financing, Small Business, Truth in Lending Acts.
Senate Bill 754 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 754, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 785, Senator Reedy, Labor Employment, Unpaid Parental Leave, Definition of Employer.
Senate Bill 785 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 785, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 788, Senator M. Washington, Baltimore City Alcoholic Beverages, 43rd Alcoholic Beverages District, Class BD7 license.
Senate Bill 788 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If so, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 788, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 800, Dorchester County Senators, Dorchester County Alcoholic Beverages, Arts, Beer, and Wine License.
I actually wonder about that. Has anybody ever voted down their own bill? That's just by mistake. All right, Senate Bill 800 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, I think that's right. If not, the clerk will take the call. We'll call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 800, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 802, Dorchester County Senators, Dorchester County Alcoholic Beverages, Venue, Beer, Wine, and Liquor License.
Senate Bill 802 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 802, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 811, Senator James, Task Force on the Creation of a Division of Returning Citizens and Expanded Reentry Services, Extension of Report Deadline and Task Force.
Senate Bill 811 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 811, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 910, Caroline County Senators, Caroline County Alcoholic Beverages Special Event Venue License and Multiple Event Licenses.
Senate Bill 910 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 910, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 923, Senator Guile, Public Schools, High School Sports, Officiating Services, Procurement Requirements.
Senate Bill 923 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 923, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 939, Senator Hayes, Baltimore City Alcoholic Beverages Authorization and Revisions.
Senate Bill 939 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. 44 votes in the affirmative. Senate Bill 939, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, we have another consent calendar. This is number 27. Clerk will read the calendar. Oh, yep, before we do that.
Mr. President,
yes.
I need to be added yay to Senate Bill 785, please.
785 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. All right, Madam Clerk, calendar 27. Oh, Senator from the 27th.
Yes, Mr. President, my button didn't work on Senate Bill 811. I'd like to be recorded in the green.
811 in the green. 811 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. we gotta get that paper clip fixed, you know. All right, Madam Clerk.
third reading, Senate Bill Calendar number 27, Consent Calendar number 2.
All right, third reading calendar number 27, number 2. These are additional alcohol, local alcohol bills. Are there any bills that senators wish to separate? If not, any discussion? Third reading, final passage. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate bills on third reading calendar 27, consent number 2, having received a constitutional majority, are declared passed. Let's go to calendar 28. Only one bill on this one.
Senate Bill 618, Senator Smith, Vehicle Laws, Licenses, Identification Cards, and Moped Operators Permits, Notation of Non-Apparent Disability, Eric's ID Law.
All right, Senate Bill 618 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 618, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. We have a report from the Committee on Rules. Clerk will read the report.
Report on the Committee on Rules, Report number 2.
These bills were referred. Let's hear from the Chair of the Rules Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Rules Committee met this morning, and we offer this report and move for favorable, that they be moved on and referred to the appropriate committees.
All right, the Senator moves that we re-refer the bills to the appropriate standing committees. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. All right, that does it. The desk is clear. Yes, Senator from District 1.
Mr. President, I'd like to move to suspend the rules for the purpose of a bill introduction.
Do we have the bill? All right, Senator has moved to suspend the rules for the purpose of a bill introduction. If the Senator could first explain the bill, and then we will take up the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, this bill concerns correctional officers wearing body-worn cameras under certain circumstances, and will direct the Maryland Commission of Correctional Training to develop standards. This has to do with our parole and probation making sure that our state workers are safe, and so it's a safety concerning bill. Unfortunately, on May 31st, 2024, parole agent Davis Martinez was found stabbed to death in the home of a convicted sex offender. This bill will address that, and I just ask for a favorable on my motion.
All right, the senator has moved to suspend Rule 32 for the purpose of the late introduction of the bill. Any discussion on the senator's motion? Any objections to the motion? Without objection, the rule having been suspended, clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 1046, Senator McKay, Correctional Officers, Body-Worn Digital Recording Devices, Rules. This is an emergency bill.
All right, the bill having been introduced will be referred to the Rules Committee. All right, are there any, let's do committee announcements. Check with the Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance will meet at 1 o'clock today. We have 7 bills, and then we'll be voting.
All right. Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. President. Triple E meeting at 1 p.m. today for 20 bill hearings, followed by voting session. And then tomorrow, we will reconvene at 9 a.m. for some additional bill hearings tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Budget and Tax.
Thank you, Mr. President. 1 o'clock today for bill hearings, followed by voting. And then tomorrow again at 9 for more voting.
Excellent. All right. Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judicial Proceedings Committee will meet today at 1 p.m. for a voting session.
1 p.m. Judicial Proceedings. Yes, Executive Noms.
Yes, the Executive Nominations Committee will meet at 5 p.m. on Monday, March 10th, and in the Amos hearing room. The members of this body should be prepared to have Executive Nominations Committee meetings for the next 4 Mondays. So just a heads up to everyone, especially with the supplemental greenback that just came.
Thank you. Busy time here at the end. Yes, Chair of the Rules Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Baltimore County Senate delegation will meet on Monday at 3 o'clock, same place. Thank you.
Monday at 3. Other delegations, Baltimore City.
Baltimore City delegation will meet at 4:15 on Monday.
4:15 on Monday. Montgomery County delegation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Montgomery County delegation will be meeting right after floor session in the Verta Welcome Room.
In the Welcome Room, Montgomery County. Any other delegations? Any other, point of personal privilege, Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I wanted to rise on a moment of personal privilege to recognize someone in my community, in my district, that has passed away. The town of Sykesville has just lost its longest tenured public servant, Eugene Johnson Sr., who served on the Sykesville Town Council for 24 years, from 1985 to 2009, and was council president from 1993 to 2001. Eugene lived most of his life in Sykesville after moving there with his family, including 9 siblings, in the late 60s. Mr. Johnson was African American, and when his family moved to Sykesville, they moved into a converted building that had been the Sykesville Colored Schoolhouse. It was part of a neighborhood that was made up of 3rd and 4th generation black family-owned homes, and their ancestors were some of Carroll County's first black property owners. They called Oklahoma Road and Norris Avenue their home. In 1975, many of these homes still lacked proper indoor plumbing. And the man, Mr. Johnson, who would affectionately and respectfully become known as Mr. Gene, met with contractors that he knew, put together blueprints, and began to negotiate the construction of 26 3-bedroom townhomes. It took 3 years of planning and seeking approvals, but in 1978, the Schoolhouse Road development was born, and by 1982, the new and fully integrated neighborhood had been completed. Eugene and his family were one of the first to move in, but then, because they were moving out of the schoolhouse, he went to work for years to ensure that the schoolhouse would be preserved for historical purposes. Persistent, the now Councilman Johnson would attend meeting after meeting with the county, working to protect the only black schoolhouse in Sykesville and the South Carroll area, and its history from being destroyed. And then finally, beginning in 2000, they were able to make progress to have the schoolhouse begin to be restored, and now it stands proudly on its hill. It still serves students and provides lessons in the community from instructors and in displays. Mr. Johnson passed away. He's survived by his wife, Mary, son, Eugene Jr., daughter, Mary Ann, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. And I just wanted to take a moment to honor him. He was a great community leader in Sykesville and in our community, and ask that the Senate would adjourn in his honor today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Without objection, we certainly will. We will do so. Yes, excellent. Senator from the 27th.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. For all are invited tonight. Tonight is District 27 night. And for my colleagues who as you all may know, I touch 3 counties, so Senator from 29 and 28, but all are welcome in Senate West tonight, 6 o'clock. District 27 night. Come on out and help us celebrate our citizens. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Senator. And I apologize for not being there. Is probably the appropriate time to note. The Speaker's son's viewing will be this evening, so I will be there. So I apologize for not being there at a time. But hope that you have a very successful evening this evening. We are going to have a presentation on Women's History Month in just a moment. Before we do that, let's do the pages. Let's make sure we have all of our other business completed. Senator from the 37th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, on behalf of the Protocol Committee, we're going to announce our pages and give them a warm Senate thank you for a week's worth of service. The first page hails from Prince George's County, Friendly High School, Trinity Divine. Trinity, thank you for your service.
Excellent. And Senator, actually,
Please.
I think if you give us just a moment, I think because we are doing pro forma tomorrow for the funeral, we are going to ask the minority leader and majority leader to join us at the front so that we can present our citations. So we'll take them all together. Mr. Minority Leader? All right, excellent. Okay, Senator may proceed.
Okay, and I'll continue. Thank you, Mr. President. The next page hails from Wacomico County, Parkside High School, Julia Gore. Thank you, Julia. Our next page hails from Washington County, North Hagerstown High School, Grace Hollingsworth. Thank you, Grace. Our next page hails from Montgomery High School, Our next page hails from Montgomery County, Richard Montgomery High School, Liliana Katz Hollander. Liliana, thank you. Our next page hails from Montgomery County, Clarksburg High School, Jasheen Carr. Our next page hails from Baltimore City, Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, Kennedy McCrae. And our last page hails from Frederick County, Lingnor High School, Asiri Prasad. Thank you, pages.
Excellent, excellent. Let's make sure we get a great picture here. It's the Daughters in the Senate Day. And some are pages, some are watching. Excellent. Thank you so much, Pages. You are our best and brightest. We are so thankful for your work. You all did a wonderful, wonderful job these 2 weeks, and we wish you the best as you take your next journey to wherever that may be. Wherever that may be. Thank you for representing Maryland well. Thank you all. All right. Do we have any further work before we give it to the Senator from Baltimore County? Just a quick note about next week is going to be very, very busy on the floor. So it's going to be a packed week. Keep that in mind for schedules. Just if folks have scheduled meetings, just to make sure that your teams are letting folks know to keep it flexible, because the schedule is going to be kind of bouncing around. So we may have some double sessions. We'll see. So keep that in mind. All right. Let's hear from the Senator from Baltimore County.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. In celebration of March as Women's History Month, I wanted to take a moment to highlight the contributions of former Senator Paula Hollinger, whose dedication to public service, health policy, and women's leadership has left a lasting impression on Maryland and beyond. Senator Hollinger served in the Maryland General Assembly for 28 years. She was first elected as a delegate in 1979, representing Baltimore County, and later became a Maryland State Senator in 1986, representing District 11 until 2007. During her tenure, she chaired the Senate, then called Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee, and at the time, she was the only woman to lead one of the 4 standing Senate committees. She was instrumental in shaping policies related to education, health, and environmental affairs, with a particular emphasis on health, since she was a nurse and had been a practicing nurse and had a lot of experience in that field. Her leadership in those areas earned her recognition and awards, such as the Outstanding Service Award from the Maryland Psychological Association and the Public Policymaker of the Year from the Washington Psychiatric Society, among many, many others. She also served on many boards, including the Seed School, the Transplant Resource Center, and the Shepherd Pratt Foundation. Her legislative service came to an end when she decided to leave this body and run for Congress from the then 3rd Congressional District. After her legislative service, she continued her commitment to public health by serving as Associate Director for Health Workforce at the Maryland Department, again called something else then, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, until her retirement in 2015. Her career really exemplifies the impact of women's leadership in politics and public service. She was a trailblazer here, and she not only advanced critical legislation, but paved the way for future generations of women in government. Her dedication to public health, education, and environmental issues highlights the multifaceted roles that women play in shaping policy and advocating for our community well-being. As we celebrate Women's History Month throughout March, I hope that we will continue to honor leaders like Paula Hollinger, whose legacy continues to inspire and empower future generations to break barriers and create lasting change. And I'd just like to say, when I decided to run for office, I became the first woman to run in nearly 30 years since she held that position in my district. I knew her before I was in elected office. She really was a wonderful advocate in the community and here in Annapolis. And I don't get to talk to her very often, but I just thought she was a really wonderful role model in so many ways and wonderful leader to remember in this special month. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you for that reflection. Thank you. And if there are no objections, we would like to hear from the senator from Montgomery County.
Mr. President, I move that the senator's thoughtful remarks about a great woman senator be journalized.
Without objection, absolutely, we will journalize those remarks about the wonderful Senator Hollinger. She was one of the first people to reach out to me to give advice about when she heard that I was running, which I don't know exactly what it meant, but she was wonderful. She's just great. She was just great. All right. Any other business before we adjourn? I don't believe so. Let's do a quorum call.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session, recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Friday, March 7th for a pro forma session at 11 a.m., adjourning today in memory of Eugene Johnson, Sr.
Without objection, so ordered. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and a wonderful weekend.